I'm going to call Stephen Brown.
Rise to speak to Part 3 of the Telecommunications Interception Capability and Security Bill. Part 3 on network security. And of course, in this modern age, we are all very aware of the need for good network security. And if this bill had that in what we might say is a fair manner, we'd probably be supporting that aspect of it. We can't. We're still, as I've said many times, we still need that full, thorough investigation, that independent investigation, and the Greens will push for that consistently until that happens. Now, with the Minister's SOP as well, it's addressing part of the network security. There was an intention, they said, the officials and also the Minister, to actually refine the matters that must be notified to the GCSB, reducing compliance requirements for network operators. When I look at it, all I can see is it actually broadens it. I think the refinement is making sure that there is nothing missing, that there's no way that anything would be missed. Sure, it might reduce some compliance requirements, but they've broadened it in some respects as well. And I asked them, and I asked the Minister, when it comes in Section 47 to replace the old 47.1a with a new bit, there's some wording which is architecture. And I'll go to B1, any change to the architecture of any equipment, system or service that falls into an area of specified security interest. And what I would like to know is what the definition of architecture is. I mean, I can look it up, I can look up into any dictionary, wiki or somebody, and of course we've got the standard definitions around building or whatever, but basically systems or whatever. I'm assuming that is what they mean, that it's the systems, it's the structure of how a network might work. But I think they've been remiss in not spelling that out into a finer, and talking of refinement, getting it properly refined and giving us that definition and being absolutely confident about what is intended in that change. And maybe the Minister still wants to sort that out, because the Minister still has that capability to do that. So, under Part 3 of the bill, a network operator must engage with the GCSB as soon as practicable after becoming aware of a proposed decision, course of action or change, not necessarily related to their own network or service, that if implemented may raise a network security risk. That is pretty broad. And, we all have suffered some levels of risk through hacking, through viruses, and sometimes we just think government spam might be part of the problem too. We accept that there is that element of risk, and we'd like to see this tuned in an appropriate way. But I share, and the Green Party shares, the concerns that our fellows in Labor have expressed in the powers in here. Who's got the power? Well, we know who's got the power. The Minister in charge of the GCSB, and generally the Prime Minister, and I'll talk about that once again in a moment. But as part of this network security, there's a fair bit of the scope of the areas of specified security interest can be expanded by order in council, by regulation. subject to consultations with registered network operators and some limitations, I must say, relating to changes in the technology. Mr Chair.
I call the honourable member Colin King.
I move that the question be now put.
No. I'll call the honourable member Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. It's always a great pleasure, of course, not only to take a call on an important piece of legislation as this, but to do so under your chairpersonship, because